When problems arise, as a society, we blame whoever's in charge. When we look at the strength or influence of a civilization, we look at their leader. Are people natural born leaders? Or are they just a product of their environment? Or maybe, like myself, who was born the oldest of 10, you have no choice but to wear the crown that you were given. But don't forget, heavy is the head that wears it. Trust me, I know firsthand what it's like to be the leader and the first to blame. After all, I am the oldest. Today, I'm going to give you a little glimpse into my life. This is important for you to know because learning about each other is the spice of life. And maybe, just maybe, getting a glimpse into my world may teach or even inspire just one person. Hi, I'm Brittney Lancaster, and I am qualified to speak to you about myself because I am the narrator of my own life, just like you are of yours. Here's some things you're going to learn about me today. I am the oldest of 10. I am a U.S. Navy veteran, and my most important role is mom. Before we get started, it is important for you to know that I was born this way. So let's start from the beginning. A little over 36 years ago, I was born the first grandchild and niece on both sides of my family. I then ended up with 9 younger siblings. Imagine having 9 younger siblings that copy everything you do, take your things without asking, provoke you, and then leave you to take the blame. I feel a huge amount of responsibility being the oldest. Having 9 younger siblings, it can be both a privilege and a burden. My younger siblings always want my advice when it suits them, but they definitely hate to see me be right. There's even times when I'll give them advice. They won't say anything, but they'll use what I told them and then act like it didn't happen. It's all good, I guess. I'm used to it. Being born the first definitely has its ups and downs, but I wouldn't change it for anything. And now that you know a little bit about me being the oldest of 10, let's move on to my next interesting fact. I am a U.S. Navy veteran. Okay, it's story time. It's the winter of 2008 at Navy boot camp in Great Lakes, Michigan. My division and I were in a crisis simulation. This was our final test of boot camp. It's called battle stations. So there was about 5 recruits and myself, and we were placed in a room that started to fill with all this toxic gas. Petty Officer Johnson, our test proctor, he looked around to see who would act. Everyone looked dumbfounded. I looked below my feet, and I noticed a small hatch marked with the letter Z. Z usually meant that hatch must stay closed at all times. I'm a natural born leader, so I opened the hatch as my fellow recruits are yelling at me, "That's marked Z! You're not allowed to go in there!" As I climbed down the ladder through the hatch, I yell back, "I don't care what it's marked. I want to live!" Petty Officer Johnson, he just nodded his head. He gave a slight smirk, and at that moment, I knew that I was meant for the Navy. I got the pleasure of serving this country, and I still see the benefits to this day. I highly recommend it. Now that I've told you a little bit about being the oldest of 10 and about being a U.S. Navy veteran, I'm going to tell you about my most important role, mom. I've done a lot in my 36 years of living, but nothing compares to the challenges and self-reflection that I've endured being a mother. It's not my children Stella and Lily that are challenging. The biggest challenge of parenting is emotional regulation. Not only do I have to regulate my emotions, but I have to teach these brand new human beings how to regulate theirs. For example, this one time back in the summer of 2023, my daughter Stella and I were at home in Anderson, and I was running late for my pedicure at VIP Nails in Reading. In a fit of rage, I told her I was leaving her at the house, although I never really would, and I yanked the door to the garage with all my might. The door ran over my big toenail, and it took my toenail with it. I was gushing blood, crying, and I even blamed my daughter at that moment. In the end, my own anger is what cost me my toenail. And that lesson reminds me every single day to stay calm. Anger has the power to affect everything that it touches, but the real power is in patience. Take it from me, This mama has to practice it daily. So let's review. I am the oldest of 10. I am a U.S. Navy veteran, and my most important role is mom. See, being a leader is not always easy, and it doesn't come without challenges. But in the end, for me, it's about setting the best example I can for those who look up to me. Thank you for listening.